Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about the Orient Defender watch. It's a cool watch, always has been. It's been around for many years. And then I'll paint a little picture for you. About a month ago or 6 weeks ago, somewhere in the middle of October, I was camping with my middle guy, who is a Cub Scout, and of course, I am always working. And at lights out time, I started going through my emails, and there was Defender after Defender after Defender being sold, and I couldn't figure out why. It didn't occur to me why. It was just a rash of Defenders. And then at the wind-up fair 2 weeks later, I had the Defender there, and a gentleman came up to me and said, "Oh, is that the Orient Defender?" And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "You know, the Wall Street Journal published a piece about it." And I said, "No, when?" And sure enough, it was that same date. So somewhere on October 17th, somebody wrote in. It was a former student, I guess, paying off college loans, and said, "What's a good watch for under 250?" And in reply, one of the watches that was mentioned was indeed the Orient Defender executive worthy watch for under 250 bucks. And generally we sell them for much less than even 200. Other watches that were mentioned in the article were the S&K 809, the little Seiko, and I believe also System 51. I'm trying to remember exactly what the article said, but I was really happy that the Defender was there, and I said, you know what, Defender is a popular watch. I should do a video on it. Another video, I should say, because I did a video on it in the beginning of 2016, so that's almost 2 years ago. The channel was a lot smaller back then. Definitely new viewers, right? I mean, there's a lot of new people out there, probably, I don't know, 25,000 new subscribers. So I figured we'd kind of reshoot the video, and definitely it's higher quality this time. I'll do my own wrist check. I'm still wearing the same two watches I've been doing in a lot of videos. The Orient Mako USA 2 in white. Man, what a piece. So this should be like the best diver under like 300 and change. And then its rival, possibly, the 007 on the Super Oyster. I mean, check that out. Recently I met with someone who is familiar with the 007 in watch circles, and he said to me, "What are you wearing?" And I was like, "Well, of course it's a 007." He goes, "Really?" And he was very familiar with the watch. The bracelet just totally threw him for a loop. He couldn't believe that this was the Super Oyster from Strapcode that we sell. So I was really glad to hear that, because it definitely elevates the watch. It was already a great watch. Now it's even better. Anyway, let's check out the Orient Defender. So the Defender lineup currently consists of 4 watches. You got the 2 on bracelet in the back and the 2 on strap. Different dial colors. The black and the gray on the leather, and the black and the blue on the steel. Now, there is a cream dial one that's not shown here. We don't have it. And honestly, I do not know if it's coming back. I would not be surprised if Orient is going to, revise this to a Gen 2 model, because the movement that's in here was the same movement that was in the Orient Sun and Moon V2. And as you guys know from some of the prior videos, Orient recently revved up the Sun and Moon to a V3 to include hand winding and hacking. So will this watch get the same upgrade? More than likely, I would guess, but I haven't heard anything yet. So for now, we stick with this one. So I'll pick up one in detail. We'll go over it, and then I'll show you all 4. So we're going to start with the black on the leather strap, because this is kind of, the base. Black is the basic color. This is model number ET0N002B. They'll all be ETON. That's basically the Defender lineup. So when we examine the dial of the watch, we see it's got some functionality, some good detail. Very clean, very simple looking watch. We'll go over the operation and all of the specs. So the watch itself is 42 millimeters in diameter. It is 12 millimeters thick. It is 48 millimeters tip to tip. The lug is 22 millimeters. So if you have a different strap that you want to put this on, obviously there's loads and loads of options. A solid screw down case back, mineral crystal, water resistant to 100 meters, but also usually when you see 100 meters, it's a push-pull crown. This guy's got a screw down crown, which I think is a nice touch. It really makes it a cool looking field watch. What I dig about this watch is that it's not a pilot's watch, it's not a diver's watch, it's not a dress watch. And those are your three main categories. It's this kind of military-esque field watch. No nonsense. Would you wear it in a dress setting? Probably not. But for casual and for work and everything else, I think it definitely fits the bill. It does a great job. And I love the strap with the contrasting stitching. The case is actually blasted. It's not satin. When you get up really close on it, you can see it's actually like a blasted steel. So is the bezel. Everything done on it just looks really nice. So I usually don't say weights, but I thought it was important since it's a field watch. The weight on the leather strap version is a mere 84 grams. That's not a lot at all. It's very light. The stainless steel version adds a little weight to it, obviously. With the bracelet, it's 147 grams. But still, very comfortable to wear watch. You'll probably forget it's there. And there is loom. We'll do the loom in a few minutes. So let's go over the operation of the watch. It's an automatic self-winding movement, 21 joules, which kind of owes to why I think the journal chose this one. Obviously you could choose any Orient probably, but for the layman, I don't think Orient's a brand that people know, and they don't realize you can get an automatic self-winding watch, made in Japan, movement, all this functionality and beauty for well under 250, and in our case well under 200. So what does the watch do? Well, it's an automatic, which means it runs by the power of your wrist. You move it around, there's a weight inside, it winds the watch, it keeps it running. It's got obviously an hour, minute, and seconds hand, a date display at the 6, and then a day of the week display over here at the 3 o'clock. So you can see it's basically a full calendar there, day and date. And then up in the corner here, this is 24-hour time. It's not independently settable. It's basically military time. Is it necessary? Probably not, unless you're locked in a casino somewhere or somewhere else with no windows and no clocks and you can't figure out if it's nighttime or daytime. But it adds, obviously, a balance to the dial, which in this case is very important, because without this dial, where would you put the day of the week? And where you put it, there's going to be a big empty spot on the dial. So to operate the watch, you unscrew the crown, as I said, and it does not hand wind or hack. When you pull the crown, set the time. The seconds hand does not stop. That if they make a version 2, that would definitely be incorporated. And then you would set the time to what you want. And keep in mind AM or PM. As I don't know if you're watching, but the day of the week just flipped over, the date flipped over. So you set the time, and then you pull out the crown and you set the date. One way sets the date, the other way does nothing. See that? Another change in version 3, but here in the original version with this movement, we can just change the date. We cannot change the day with the crown. To change the day, we have to go all the way around to midnight. So if we watch this 24-hour indicator, we're at noon right now, and we'll go around again, and then when we get to midnight, you'll see the day of the week. Watch this. It's on Tuesday now. So as I roll through midnight, let's get the seconds hand out of the way, right? Wait a second. There we go. So I'm going to roll through midnight. The date flips, and now here goes the day of the week. It's going to flip twice. So now it's moving from Tuesday to halfway between Tuesday and Wednesday. And then it's going to, about an hour and a half later, it's going to finish the journey, and it's going to flip over to Wednesday. So what you would do is you'd back the watch up to around 9 o'clock, and you would just do it again. And there it goes. So I will cover this now because it's going to happen to somebody. You'll get the watch, and oh, by the way, I'm sorry. Let me say this first. Obviously, don't set the date between the hours of 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. Watch some of the Watch and Learns, you'll see why. You're going to get the watch, and the day of the week will be stuck halfway between 2 days, and I can make that happen. Here we go. So right now, the watch is stuck halfway between Thursday and Friday. You see that? Such that if the day were to advance through midnight, by 3 a.m., now it's stuck between Friday and Saturday. And people say, well, it's broken. It's not. It's because the wheel for the day of the week is part of the same mechanism that gives you 2 languages. So there's 2 flips. So what you have to do is, if it's like that, you go through midnight, you let it go to the single flip at around 1:30, so it goes to Saturday. Of course, now it's all going to get in the way. Hopefully you can see it. Okay, now it's on Saturday. Now you back it all the way up to 9, And now when you go through to 3 a.m., it will flip over to Sunday properly. So that's just a little trick. Anyway, so when you're done, you push the crown in and you turn it, and you lock it down. 100 meters water resistance. Let us do a quick loom shot on the watch. And there you go. You can see it glows very well in the dark. Hours, minutes, and seconds are clearly illuminated, as well as the indices on the dial. It's indexed nicely at the 12, so you really never lose sight of where your 12 o'clock is. So we'll move on from the black to the gray dial. This is ET0N002K. Everything about the watch is the same. It just takes on a gray dial, this more, dare I say, drab and dreary dial. It definitely is not as flashy as black, but I think it's certainly more military inspired. It always made me chuckle in engineering when we would specify the colors for military equipment, and it's olive drab. And drab is just such a dreary name. Let's pick a better name for it. Battleship Gray always sounded cool. So this is the gray dial. It's not really a charcoal. It's just really a dark gray. I don't think it's confused. I don't think you confuse it with black. They've put it on the same exact strap, the same black strap with the white stitching. Again, though, your choices for strap options are limitless. You could do a black and gray nylon. It would definitely look sharp then. That would certainly make it a real field watch. But we will move on to the bracelet version next. So this is ET0N001D. Same watch again. Blue dial with a bracelet. Like I said, the bracelet adds a little bit of heft to it, where we're up to now around 184 grams. But the blue dial is different than your Mako and Ray blue, without a doubt. It is a flatter blue that doesn't reflect as much, as you can see. It looks really nice. Just a touch of color. And let's check out the bracelet, since that's what's really different between this and the ones I just showed you. It is a solid link bracelet. You can see it's held in with cotter pins. Okay, hollow end links, but for well under $200. I don't know what more you actually expect. It is a double push button deploy and clasp. There you go. And what's nice, again, is that they've taken the same finishing and they followed it through to the bracelet as well. So it really matches the watch, quite well. Something I found that I think was a little bit surprising, let me hold up one of the leather strap versions. They've actually finished the cases differently. The leather strap take on more of a bead blasted appearance. They are bead blasted. Whereas the bracelet is satin, or, like a brushed finish. You see that? So it's different, probably because they didn't want to give a bead-blasted bracelet. So definitely, it's a different watch. It's not, you'll see with the black one, the black is not the same watch on a bracelet. It's a different watch. So this is the blue one on a bracelet, again, ET0N001D, and then we'll move on to the black dial. This is ET0N001B. So you have your 1B, your 2D, your 2B, and your 2Ks. Got that straight? The yellow one, or the cream dial, was a 3Y, the one that is pretty much not available anymore. But again, so here's the black dial. It's the same as the black dial that I opened with, right? Same dial. But the case is different. Again, satin versus bead blasted. It's a big difference. It's small in, I guess, conveying, but you really don't see it until it's on camera, and then you really notice that the watches are indeed quite different. Anyway, so this is the black Defender on the bracelet, and what I'll do is I'll pop, maybe I'll do the leather and I'll do the bracelet. I'll pop it on my wrist, and you guys can check it out. So here's the black dial on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. It fits perfectly. Without a doubt, it's light, it's comfortable. Looks great, an all-purpose watch, really, all-purpose field watch. Like I said, it's not a pilot's watch, it's not a dress watch, it's not a diving watch, it's a Defender. It's its own piece. It's more of a field-inspired watch. Definitely cool. Let's check out the bracelet one. So here's the bracelet one, the blue dial. Obviously, you expect it to fit the same, and it does. And just the appearance of that blue dial is really nice. Slightly different case finishing. Just a sharp looking watch. Bracelets, the bracelet's a quality bracelet. For the small price difference, you actually get a decent bracelet. So this has been Mark from LongIslandWatch.com showing you the Orient Defender. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below, and I'll be sure to address them as soon as I can. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.